How you doing? I just want to warn you guys, this is not for sensitive viewers. If you feel like you're a sensitive person, this is not the video for you. I would just turn it off or not listen to it. Just letting you know ahead of time. So why did the Summer's Fest event fail? And you're wondering, what am I talking about? We're on pace to hit 50 billion points. Okay, and we're not even halfway there. Okay, so what? How do you know this? What are you talking about? So it's very unlikely that we're gonna hit 50 billion points unless somehow Kabam decided to give us another 27,500 points in rewards. I doubt we're gonna hit 50 billion points. I did predict that we were gonna hit 50 billion points before this event started. I don't think so. Not likely. I think we're likely gonna get 40 billion points, or over 38 billion points for sure, but under definitely under 50 billion points. So why did it fail? And what are you talking about? If we're gonna hit 38 billion points, that's a success, right? If we hit the final milestone, and that's what Cabans want you to think. You know, if we hit the final milestone, yeah, this it's a success. No, it's not. I don't see it that way. And why? I'm gonna give you the 5 reasons why. So for a second, I was worried that I did say we're guaranteed to hit 38 billion points. But I was like, I'm not really worried because Kabam will find a way to give us some more points. And what do you know? They give us what? 27,500 points already? So, but they realize, I think it's a better move to give us the rewards, the 27,500 points, than just adding score to the total milestone. Okay, like they did in the Crystal Realm event, in the Battle Realm event, how it failed. So what did they do? They just gave us more points. So this time it's better because they realized the minimum of what 285,000 to hit the final to get the highest rewards. It's just not realistic for like 95% of players. So they decided to give us 27,500 more points. So I'm just gonna let you know if you're saying I'm being negative. No, I'm just giving my criticism and how they can improve this game for the next Summer's Fest. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're a sensitive person, this is not the video for you. So let me just give you number one. I think the biggest reason why it failed, and I really think with these things, if they had improved on these things, when I said guaranteed 38 billion points, I think we would have hit that. I made a video 4 weeks ago just saying that uh, we're guaranteed to hit 38 billion points. And I think if they had fixed these issues when it comes to Summers Fest, I know without that we'd have hit 38 billion points without the 11 billion points, 12 billion points, whatever they gave us when it comes to the Summers Fest. And we're probably, if they did give us those 11 billion points or whatever, 12 billion points, we would have hit the 50 billion point milestone. If we do hit 50 billion milestone now, it's not unlikely unless they give us more points, and I'm not going to take credit for it. So, what can a Kabam do, okay, to improve? Number one, it's it's just terrible. The bugs. It's crazy how a company that makes millions of dollars a year cannot figure out what's wrong with the game, right? Why is there so many bugs in this game? It's just mind-boggling. You know what it is? It seems obvious already. It's because they have a bunch of incompetent people that work for Kabam, okay? A bunch of DEIs, okay? They just had a guy on their show, a man dressed like a woman, okay? A man dressed like a woman. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm not crazy. That's true. That's what I saw. I'm it's a man dressed like a woman. Okay. So there are a bunch of Godslayer characters over there that works for Kabam and Grass characters. I'm pretty sure when it comes to Kabam, they're incompetent. And if Trump was the in charge of Kabam, he would have just said, "You're fired." You know what I mean? Fire these incompetent people, man. It's just you know imagine Kabam could actually do that, like just say like to their people that doing these jobs like cannot run this game, who makes millions of dollars a year, cannot run this game and like so you're fired. They just why can't they just hire competent workers? I just don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, imagine they came out to, like, if it was like, imagine if they were like Trump. They just said like, oh yeah, well, from now on we're moving forward. We're gonna hire the best people. No more DEIs. No more guys dressed like women. We're gonna be like doing our best to hire only the best. You know, you know, Kabam will probably never say that, because they're afraid to hurt somebody's feelings or something. You probably have a better chance of winning the lottery on your birthday while getting struck by lightning at the same day. Okay? Then Kabam coming up and saying, oh, we need to fire these people because they're incompetent. We don't need DEIs anymore. We just want the best people working for us. Okay, when it comes to bugs, I just don't understand. I mean, I think if they have incompetent people that actually know what they're doing, we have 90% less bugs than we do now. Okay, I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I'm expecting it to be way better than it is now. So that's one of the reasons why this game is shit, because there's so many bugs in this game and people are tired of it. So second thing is MCOC poker. I've never actually played MCOC poker. Okay. And what else? Is it Dimensional Arcade? Whatever it's called, Doombots, Doomquest. I don't even know. I think it's called Dimensional Arcade. So for some reason, Kabam decided to put MCOC Poker and Dimensional Arcade at the same time while this Summer's Fest is going on. Okay, you know, that's just terrible timing. Okay, even if you're just imagine if you're in the top 1%, you completed everything in the game 100%, and this is pretty much all you gotta do. Okay, do all these things that Kabam requires you to do, right? To get the points for the Summers Fest and do MCOC Poker and Dimensional Arcade at the same time. For you to be doing that, you must have nothing better to do with your life. Okay? That I would imagine that would take so much time to play all those game modes. Okay? Dimensional Arcade, MCOC Poker, and while still be able to hit all these points to get whatever you need. Okay? There's just no way an average person or casual player will be able to do that. Not to mention there's event quests, there's side quests, there's people that still do the arena, there's still people that needs to finish doing act content, Necropolis, so forth and so forth. So for them to introduce MCOC poker and Dimensional Arcade at the same time as the Summers Fest going on, what do you think is gonna happen? People are not gonna do all these stuff, right? And personally, I've always said it. I've always preached this in my channel. Like, people don't want to do this crap. Okay, like, look at my points. Okay, not including the 27,500 points that they gave us. Look how much, because I only do, what do you call this, when it comes to the super daily. Because you know what? Like I said before in the past, most people don't care about battlegrounds. Okay, and Kabam has mentioned that battlegrounds is not their main source of income. They don't make the most money from battlegrounds. So why do you give half of the points from battlegrounds if that's the case? Okay. Einstein said, one of his quotes, um, insanity is basically doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So if battlegrounds is not working out, why still have it in the game? Okay, I don't play Battlegrounds, and I think most people don't like it. Based on the score we have alone, as you can see, we're just so far behind when it comes to the contribution point. It's ridiculous. Why? Because people don't want to play Battlegrounds. Okay, you know, somehow Kabam either they just forget about the data when it comes to this, or they think they were influenced by social media. Okay, look at people from social media. Everybody likes battlegrounds, but in realistic, most people don't care about battlegrounds. I think it's boring. I think they should just get rid of it. I personally think they should just increase the rewards in Incursion to 100, to zone 100 instead. So I think at this time, when it comes to Dementia Arcade and MCOC Poker, they know that this game is coming to an end. And they're just desperate to try on different things so they can keep on moving. But like I said, I think at this point, if you play this game for more than a year, it's not even fun anymore. It's morally either you're addicted to it or it's an ego thing, okay? To boost your ego. Could be both, but it's really more of an addiction. I don't really think this game is fun for me anymore, and I will be taking a break once I do a path of Necropolis. Hopefully, I get to at least Necropolis Grandmaster. I will be collecting the points, and let me just do that now. If you're wondering, let's just talk about the other problem as well, okay? Before I move on, collect my rewards and show you about Necropolis before I stop playing this game, taking a break. So, another issue is Incursion, okay? Besides those three things, bugs, having MCOC poker, and Dimensional Arcade at the same time, that slows us down is when it comes to Incursion. I would almost pretty much bet that this is probably the worst turnaround when it comes to Saga Sector, okay? When it comes to Incursion. Why is that? Because they nerfed the hacks to the ground. Title combat is pretty much useless now. And when it comes to um, they also limited the hacks. Okay, I made plenty of videos on this. So basically, for some reason, if you're single player, okay, which most people are, I would willing to bet it's at least 80% of people that do the Saga Sector are doing it solo. I'm pretty sure probably even more than 90% are doing this solo. For some reason, for single players, you're limited to hacks. So when it comes to Zone 1, Zone 4, and one of the hacks for Zone 8, you only have these 5 choices right here for some reason for single players. And I've talked about it, and Kabam has said nothing whatsoever when it comes to Incursion, okay? You're very limited. Basically, these are your 5 hacks you have. And they nerf Title Combat to the ground, they nerf Special Counter to the ground, they nerf At the Ready to the ground. I think Defense Cascade is fine, it's balanced. They nerf it, I believe, for Angela, but overall I do think it's balanced. So that's one of the reasons why nobody really wanted to do Incursion. I predicted that we're gonna get 4 billion points for Incursions when it comes to the Summoners Fest. I predicted we were gonna get 4 billion points. Okay, I I'm willing to bet I was way off. Okay, I'm willing to bet we're getting less than 3 billion points for Incursions, okay? Because how bad it is. Because they nerf the hacks, they limit the hacks for for single players for some reason, which I don't know why. Kabam has not said anything. It's probably closer to 2 billion points we contribute. That's like, and I predicted 4 billion because how terrible the thing is. Okay, I'm not even gonna bother with it. I think I'm pretty much done when it comes to Saga Sector. So let me just show you what I mean when it comes to Saga Sector, how far I gotten. I don't even need to do this anymore. So basically, I got to Zone 8. I got to Zone 9 twice. And, the hacks are so limited. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to invest a single unit and a single item on this event. I actually had, I'm just, I'm trying to be honest here. I'm trying to be as transparent as I'm not trying to be kabam and lie to you guys and be not transparent, but I'm just so I did spend units when it comes to the Incursion and as well as boost, but that's because I wanted to get to Zone 4 and make a video on it. Why they limit the hacks? Besides that, I could obviously get to Zone 15 at least if I spend units and boost, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not one of those mofos or FOMOs, whatever you call them, they call themselves. You know, I think that's the biggest issue about this game is there's a bunch of FOMOs out there, and most of them are Kabam YouTubers. They're a bunch of FOMOs, and the only person that I think that are, or the only people I think that are not FOMOs is Season, that's for sure, and I think Allison Eden as well. It's not a FOMO. Okay. I think the other Kabam YouTubers are FOMOs, and that's why this game we're always gonna have bugs. They're always gonna have, they're gonna have terrible content. They're gonna have terrible offers, and Kabam's not gonna care because there's a bunch of FOMOs out there, okay, that they just can't help themselves, I can't imagine playing this game having that sickness, this FOMO. I don't even know how you can play this game having that. I don't know how could it be fun, it's just it's kind of sad, to be honest. But what else? So what do you talk like? What you're saying, like, well, FOMOs, without FOMOs, this game would not exist. Okay. Well, yeah, sure. Look how it's doing so far, so great, right? They come up with terrible buffs, one buff a year, whatever it is. The last great buff they had was Mr. Sinister. A bunch after that, a bunch of mid buffs. I think Cyclops was okay, not like Mr. Sinister buff, but I would say that's fine. It's okay, I guess. Uh, so they make millions of dollars a year. Okay, where's the money going? This reminds me of the fire in California we have. They raised $100 million, and somehow people are wondering where did that money go. It makes me think about Kabam. They make millions of dollars. I think somebody said they make $200 million a year. I don't even believe that because it seems so unrealistic considering how terrible the game is. But where's the money going? It makes no sense. Don't tell me they're investing it on the game because the game is full of bugs and they barely can make any buffs in this game. You know what? Also, instead of buffing champions, they came up with a idea to just give them. They came up with stat relic. So this champion is kind of weak on this department. We just use stats instead of buffing them because why we gotta buff champions when we can make money instead from stat relics, which is probably another video itself. So I think that's it. As I mentioned earlier, I will be taking a break from this game. I'm just gonna tell you, like I said, I still have all my rewards. Let me see. Oh, it's not in my mail anymore. Yep, there it is. So I still have it. I'm gonna claim it. I'm gonna claim it here as well. And I'm gonna claim it here as well. Because I will be doing I'm right now when it comes to the game, I'm in the crop list. How many revives do I have? Let me see. I have 32 revives. Hopefully I can get to at least the Grandmaster before I take a break. So I will be taking a break. We'll probably just boost, play for an hour, get the max boost. Hopefully I can get to at least the Grandmaster, but you'll see that video later today, if not tomorrow. So I think that's it for me. Thank you.